Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Women Are Worthy show. I missed you guys. I missed you. Whew, the elections are over. Hopefully, things will come back to normal. Hopefully. Well, I wanted to do this show, and I thought this was really a great show to do. Today's show is titled Living the American Dream. And I think because it doesn't matter what side of the political platform you stand on, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, and independent, I think some people have lost what a great country this is. So today we have a wonderful guest. Not only is she inspirational, she's motivational. I'm telling you, this lady's story has motivated me. Rebecca Mabior, she escaped her war-torn country in Sudan and now with that said, in a 6-year period, Sudan, they have killed over 400,000 people and dispatched millions of people. Rebecca arrived to the United States not understanding English. She had no understanding of our language. She lost everything by coming to America because she wanted to achieve the American dream. She wanted freedom. She wanted to be able to vote. So today, Rebecca is going to talk about her story, her journey. And I'm telling y'all, hold on to your seats, grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab some wine, because we're going to talk about it. So the Women Are Worthy show, our tribe, we welcome Miss Rebecca Mabior. She's also an RN. We're going to get into that. Hello, Rebecca.
Hi, thank you for the nice introduction. I am so happy to be here. It is an honor to be here as a day as we celebrate everything we have as a country, freedom, country of prosperity and liberty. We just voted and we just chose whoever is going to be our president, whatever side we stand at. It is a very great thing because those are the things I did not grow up with. So I'm very, very grateful.
And that's why I wanted you on the show, because hopefully if we can have just one person appreciate, because again, we're not here talking about Democrat, Republican, independent. We're here talking about the United States. What a great country it is. Some people may debate on it that it's not, but coming from where you're coming from, it is a great country. So Rebecca, not only you escaped, didn't know English, you're an entrepreneur. You own your own CNA school. You are a nurse. And what people don't realize, when you leave another country and you come to the United States, you lose a lot. Usually if you're a doctor, you're not a doctor anymore. If you're a nurse, you're not a nurse anymore. So can you please share your story with us? Like, why did you come here? Can you just share your journey?
My story is connected with the politics. Sometimes people say like politics is politics, but I grew up where politics was personal. So my personal life was just, affected by what the politician thinks or say or do every day. So my country was going through a war, and it was a war is a power, and that power took a shape of Muslim against non-Muslim, Afro-Arab against pure African. So, and then it took so many shapes where I found my life was threatened. So I had to leave the country, and I left the country because of safety. That time, that was the only thing I was thinking. I didn't know how I was going to get out, if I can get out, and I didn't know how long I was going to be outside the country. So, and then one journey led to another journey, and I found myself being in America. It's a huge process of UNHCR, United High Commission of Refugees, host refugees who are affected by war or things like that from their country, and they call them refugees. So then I got a resettlement to America for just safety. That was the only thing, only place I could call home that time. So to have the sense of what I can call home, the whole process took me about 3 years. 3 years just finding refuge, finding who I am, what I want to be. It was not a priority that time. And I was originally a nurse. I just graduated from nursing school. So by the time I came here, I found myself, I lost everything except the sense of safety and security. I lost my credential. I was not around my family. I lost every big and small things I was dreaming about getting married and just leaving your father's, your husband's house. I lost that. Have my mom talking to me through womanhood. I lost that. And then my peers, my sister, and every smell that I have through holidays, when I come from school, when dad is home, all this I lost. So when I came here, it was supposed to be happy that time, But it came time of depression where I found myself like, I am safe and I'm alive. But what's the meaning of my life at this point? This is where I started to know it has to start with me. I'm not going to be looking outside and thinking like I need it and I need it. This is not provided for me. So I was trying to just like discover like what do I want to do for myself in this great country called of a land of opportunities. Is it really a land of opportunities? And I'm here. So and I started to just like process that. I had the right people in my life. I had great mentors. I had good co-workers. The agency hosted me here, Catholic Charities and JVS Youth Vocational Services. They were teaming up and just like try to equip refugees or the new American comers to be just part of the community, a positive part of the community. So those are the things I utilize, and I was trying to get a very good use of it.
So let me ask you a question. You lose everything, you come to the United States, and let's be honest, if it's your safety or losing your house, your money, you're going to leave because you want to be alive, because those things you can build back. So what inspired you? Because you lost everything. And the reason I'm asking this is because we're in the pandemic now, and there's so many people are depressed. So many people lost their homes. So many people are moving in with their parents, lost their cars, repoed. What kept you going? What inspired you and kept you going to say, I'm going to get up every day and I'm going to do it. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to work hard. Where did you get this from?
I grew up through the wars where getting up, going to the street and come home is questionable. I lost so many family members. As you mentioned earlier, like 400,000 people were killed. It's a statistic to the whole world, but for me, those are family members. I can still remember them. I didn't have that. So when I have this here, I'm very grateful. I'm truly grateful. So when I came here to America, I did not choose to come to America. So the UN was choosing who goes where. So they chose for me to come to America, and I didn't know what is this about, because that time I was young, I was confused, and I was not in the best state of mind. And overall, I did not even have the choice. So when I was brought here, and I started seeing things differently, and I started to motivate myself. Like if I live like this, and I have children, my children are going to be affected by my limitation. So that's why I started to just break my limitation one by one. It was a language barrier first. And then it started to be so many barriers that I have within me, fear, uh, be easily intimidated, and then tell myself that this is not for me. And the one thing I want to tell every American, sometimes we just like feel like there are no so many jobs, there are no so many this is not done. But truly, there are so many things that we can create for ourselves. We can create opportunities. We can equip ourselves with a lot of abilities to do things in different ways. So those are the things I just like learned. And then since I came this far, and this community and this country gave me so much. So when the pandemic came, I felt like I am needed. And this is the first time in my life to feel I was needed. So I felt like, you know what? I am needed by the community. I'm needed by my country, America, and I'm needed in general by the humanity. So that's why I'm saying, like, when I needed people, they were getting up every day and they were doing things for me. So it's time for me to get up, teach my students to be CNAs, and it's time to get up and I go to the hospital. I still hold my job in the hospital. I treat my patient one at a time, and it's my job. It's my turn. It's just like when a soldier is going to protect our country, knowing they're going to die, they never hesitate because they know we deserve this. This is how I feel. Our communities, they deserve the best. So, and if the best is what I can provide, I don't have any hesitation.
I love your story because there's so many layers. We're talking about giving back, because you could have been selfish and say, okay, fine, I have my degree, I'm a nurse. Now you decided to open a CNA school to help other people. Then you became an entrepreneur, because that's the biggest thing of the American dream: to own a home, own a car, have your 1.2 or whatever children, get married, and also be an entrepreneur. So not only are you working, you're also an entrepreneur, and you decided to give back. So my question to you is, we now have new president and a vice president that's going into the White House. They'll be sworn in January. Can you speak of, because there's been some negative talk about refugees and people who are not born here. And I just want to put it out there because there's some people that still believe that not putting into the system. My question is, there's someone out here that's watching it, that's waiting on their citizenship. What would you tell them? Because you were there. You were there. What would you tell these people who are like, they're nervous, they're scared, they don't know what's going on? What hope can you breathe into them? What life can you breathe into these people?
Part of my story started to be connecting to this community, to be honest, like I would say last 12 years when President Obama became a president. That time I didn't have any political color, I didn't have any political interest. I had enough of politics in my life. I was not thinking about it. So, and then I saw somebody who looked like my family. I saw somebody, his wife looked like my sisters. And then they were in White House making decisions for us, for our children. I was not 100% understanding all these political aspects, but I like the future's promising because people like me, even in my country, we were not able to rule the country. The country was ruled by Arab and Muslim. We were not given the opportunity to do that. So when I was able to see this in a country that I call my country finally, I felt like, things are happening. Things are happening the way I wanted it to happen. And then 8 years later, the issue of immigration started to be rising. I'm not trying to be Democrat or Republican at this point, but it just like when politics just hit your living room, when it hits to your kid's bed.
Just imagine leaving your country, going to another place. You don't know where you're going to go. It's decided on an organization, whether you're going to go to Timbuktu, you don't know where you were going to go. But I like the fact that you decided you landed in the United States, you were going to learn English, you were going to better your life. And you mentioned something about politics. Because of politics ruined your country, that's safe to say, correct?
Yes.
The infighting, between the Sunnis and Muslims. Is that correct? Or is the Sunnis?
Uh,
Sunnis?
Sudanese and South Sudanese. Now we spread to two countries. We are South Sudanese.
Okay. And because of that, tore the country apart. And I noted something when I posted this about the country. I didn't know this. I thought Egypt had all the pyramids. I had no idea that in Sudan, over I think 200 pyramids in Sudan. I had no clue. Because when I get someone on the show, I like to do my research. And when I saw that, I'm like, and I'm sure if I were to say right now to the people that are watching, who has the largest pyramid, I know majority of them would say it would be Egypt. I wouldn't even have to mention Sudan, just to see that your country is rich in culture and it's being destroyed this way.
And then, like, when the story of about immigration and refugees start to be just like everybody's telling it different ways, at one time I was thinking, like, why do we let people tell our story? We should tell our story. We are American by now. We are raising children who were born here and can be potentially presidents. Like, see Miss Harris, she's a president and she was raised by somebody exactly like me. She was not born here, but she bettered herself and she had the education. Her father the same way like my husband. So I started to be delighted, like I needed to tell my story, and I came up with my best friend Kate McCaslin. If Kate is watching here, I salute you for all the hard work you put together. We had a documentary story called I Am Rebecca, where I told my story to the public because the public are scared of us. There's so many phobic things are told by politicians again for their own gain and interest. But as the people of United States, me, you, and other people, we connect and we have one thing in common. We want our kids to be safe, next generation. We want our tax money to be utilized right. And we want the common good. And the common good is taught by us, by parents, coaches, Sunday school teachers. So those are the people we need to connect to and not to be scared of, or just help them not to be scared of us. So that way I start telling the story. So I want to tell you, if you are a refugee, don't be scared of people. It's a great country and it's based on immigration and refugees, and this is a core of this country. But if we don't come out and people are telling our story that they should be scared of us and they can ban us from coming to this country simply because where we were born, we need to be the one who tells this. I was born in Sudan, and Sudan is in the banning list. So this is one Rebecca, but you have other 1,000 Rebecca that are blocked because simply the politician is telling the story, is not us telling the story. So I am so happy to see a lady who is just like my daughter next 50 years is sitting in White House and making decisions. She's taking this decision thinking about somebody like me because her mother like just was like me. She had an accent. She didn't fully understand everything when she was here. She would think about me. She would understand me and connect to me. And this is America that we are building based on diversity. All our needs are met. And then it motivates us to give because we know the other side is receiving us with appreciation. The second question about how did I learn English? That was a very intimidating thing because I came here as an adult and I came here as a college degree holder. So you would think that is a big window for me to learn things, but it was a barrier because sometimes I did not allow myself to speak like a kindergartner because I was learning a new language. And then I made mistake that it was made for in preschool and I was aware of this. So it was very hard. But when I sat and I say like I am here and I'm here for so long, and I may not even go home. So and I'm going to be having kids here. So I have to fight this barrier. I did not have money. I did not have any access to those expensive like language schools that they have all these apps and all these things. That was 2002 actually. I taught myself. I had my dictionary I brought with me is Arabic English dictionary. So anything just my hands can grab. That can be a laundry detergent. It can be anything has a writing. I will try to translate through the dictionary. I get the newspaper and then I open page by page for hours and I just build vocabulary. Another tool that helped me because that time I didn't have money to just like pay for expensive cables and everything. I was watching the public cartoon television because cartoon language is so clear and clean and it's meant for learning for children. So it was easy for me to understand and just process. And another thing, I was always mindful. I don't want to grab any kind of casual words that are not appropriate for usage in a formal setting. So, and I know cartoon provide that because they're mindful of the children and the language the children should build. So cartoon helped me so much, and I was just reading and writing all the time. And then I asked organization if they can just take me to the community college to wherever just I can go for college and take a placement test because I learned that from one of my neighbors. She said like, hey, you can go to community college and learn English as second language. So I went there and they had the placement test and I was able to pass the test and I went through it and I was able to learn English in more like academic setting. But earlier I was the one who was doing all the work and I didn't know if it was meaningful, but I thought, you know what, that's all I need to do for myself anyway.
You are so inspiring. You make me feel like, okay, I can do anything. And I thought that before. So this just shows people there's no excuse, no excuse whatsoever. And because if you can do it, and people who are born here can do the same thing or have been here longer. Okay, so you learned English, right?
Yes.
And you took a placement test and you went to the community college. What made you decide to go back and say, okay, I lost my credentials as a nurse. I'm going to go back to school and I want to earn those credentials because I am a good nurse. What made you decide to do it? And tell us, was it tough? How was it?
So when I came here, I felt the system betrayed me and I felt I was betrayed by the humanity. My childhood was taken away from me, and the only thing that I built for years was my career. And I felt like so many things I may not get back anymore. I have that knowledge. I have it. I do have it. So the whole thing, I wanted to be a nurse, and I thought I was going to go to school from the beginning. That's the only thing I was aware of. However, I needed to just like earn money, pay bills, do this and do that. So I learned that there is a CNA program. So I went to the CNA program and I took their test. They have it's just a simple test that you take before you get to the CNA. So I passed that test. I don't know how. So the hardest thing for me is they wanted me to come up with $100, and I didn't have the $100 then. So I managed. I was able to get the $100. So and I went there and I'm like, I am not gonna fail because if I fail, where am I gonna get another $100? So I motivate myself and I talk personally to my instructor. I sat in her office. I went one day early and I'm like, look, I need this more than anything else. It's not about nursing, it's not about anything. It's about providing for myself. I do want to be providing for my own self. And this is my only tool. She was so moved by that. And I thought that's a simple expectation from an individual. So she helped me. Sometimes she stay after and then explain things to me. And when it comes to skills like taking blood pressure, doing this, I already had it. It was
Mm-hmm.
just like the text and reading and all these things. So after I became a CNA, I was able finally to be taking care of real people, touch them, take their vital signs, tuck them to bed, answer their needs that meant the whole world for me. I could even do it for free then. So I felt like now I have some of my dignity back, that I'm just somebody's waiting for, is somebody when I knock the door, they answer me to get in. So I enjoy the bedside nursing. So I started doing this. And then I met some other nurses, Filipino nurses, so who came here through the process. They were nurses back home and then they became nurses here. So one of the Filipino nurses, she told me like, why don't you go challenge RN exam? I'm like, can I do that now? I said, I thought I need to go to school. She said, no, call the board and ask them, what do you need to do that? So I called the state board of nursing and I asked the thing I need. So they gave me telephone numbers and places to contact. So I contacted them. So when they were provided me, you need to do this and do this. This time I have money. I am a CNA. I'm earning. I can do like overtimes. I can do like 7 shifts a week. I can do 16 hours a day, like, and just get the money that I want to have. So then I bought books and I registered for these examinations. And then I took it the first time, did not pass. But I knew if I'm allowed to sit there to take the test, there a potential that I can be the person I wanted to be. So I study harder and harder and harder. Then when I took the test one day and I passed and I just became a registered nurse in America.